from the ReliefFactor.com studios, here's Mike Gallagher.
America is hurting. This country is torn apart, and there's no way to sugarcoat what we're all experiencing. We're experiencing unspeakable violence, unimaginable damage to some of our most important institutions. One of the most harrowing moments has been watching Secret Service agents and police trying to hold back crowds that I guess wanted to breach the White House and presumably attack the President of the United States. St. John's Church across the street from the White House, Lafayette Park, the church where Abraham Lincoln worshiped shortly before he was assassinated, the great emancipator. They tried to burn that church to the ground. And, every city, to some degree, it seems, has been impacted, some cities more than others. You look at big cities like New York and Los Angeles, thousands and thousands of protesters shoulder to shoulder. And incidentally, COVID-19? What COVID-19? I guess that whole concern got thrown out the window. Seems to me if the virus is still coursing through our country as the scientists and the experts say it is, albeit at a reduced capacity, there's going to be a lot of sick people in a couple weeks, including police officers. We saw images of cops in Chicago being dragged through the streets. We saw an image of a giant semi-tractor trailer almost plowing through thousands of people that appeared on a bridge in Minneapolis. Lots of tears, lots of blood spilled, lots of destruction, and no easy answer as to what the solution is. It seems to me that this is a time for all of us to listen to one another, to all of us to recognize the need for law and order, to all of us being able to discern between a peaceful protest over the brutal death of George Floyd and the rioters and thugs and criminals and degenerates who would beat elderly shop owners, a female, as a matter of fact, who would beat a Dallas business owner to within an inch of his life, who would attack Somali immigrants whose life savings were used to build a business that was burned to the ground in just a few short hours. This is a time that we should be very, very circumspect, and we should be careful, and we should be compassionate, and we should be righteous in knowing the difference between right and wrong. And the lines are blurred. Breaks my heart that so many police officers have been smeared by the actions of a few. It breaks my heart that law enforcement had to put up with what they had to put up with over the last few days in America. It terrified me when this all got kicked off, watching rioters and looters destroying the front of CNN, their world headquarters in Atlanta. And a reporter behind a wall of police officers who were trying to keep the looters out. They had torn down those giant red letters, CNN. broken the windows of the CNN World Headquarters, and I thought they're gonna get into that whole building, and who knows what's going to happen. Doesn't matter that I don't like what CNN does on a daily basis. It doesn't matter that my ideology doesn't jive with theirs. Who cares? These are men, women, children, sons, daughters, American citizens who are in a building trying to do their job, and you had a crowd of rioters and looters trying to break in and attacking police officers, throwing projectiles at them. All of these faces, many of them white faces, doing a lot of damage. I saw one video clip with a black woman yelling to two white people who were damaging and vandalizing a store, "Stop it, stop it. They're going to think we did that. They're going to think black people did that." This has just been an incredible scene in America, and all of us are nauseated by it. All of us are sickened. All of us are angry at those who have dishonored any semblance of what George Floyd's death represented. To watch people try to justify looting and stealing and burning buildings down is mind-boggling. We have a lot to do today. We've got a very, very special edition of the Mike Gallagher Show for this Monday, the first day of June, 2020. Our number is 800-655-MIKE, 800-655-6453. We're in the ReliefFactor.com studios. Every time that we go through a lot together, I consider it a blessing and an honor and a privilege to be able to be in this studio with you and you with me. So I invite you to join us, because when we are in a time of crisis, and we really are, there's no way around it. I'm not going to minimize it. I'm not going to maximize it. Our country is hurting right now. We are torn apart. And anytime we are in a moment of crisis, I always invite you to join us, because your voice, I think, provides a great deal of insight, wisdom, and inspiration as we're holding on to each other for dear life. And as the man said at the top of the hour, from pandemic to pandemonium in the streets of America. But one thing is constant: your ability to join us here on the Mike Gallagher Show. Our number, 1-800-655-MIKE,